So off the bat, ReviewTechUSA, he's a good and reliable source for gaming news, and he is one of the more unbiased guys you will find on YouTube when it comes to gaming news, etc. And he's still one of my more pursued channels to get gaming info or hear about the latest swatting tar getting, busted for other things. And this video does change nothing between his views and my opinion of those views because 99% of the time I agree with this guy. A lot of things he says make sense. He is very, very reliable when it comes to gaming reviews, gaming views, etc. That being said, here we go with this disagreement I have with him. Now, Dead Island was a mixed bag from what I heard. I cannot say that from my own personal experience, but the people I know have said that it's an okay game. It does what it needs to do. It's okay. It's nothing that redefines the whole survival horror slash zombie genre. And I honestly, I just avoided it. It was like Assassin's Creed. People told me it was good. It was great. My dad played it, told me it was whatever. And I just didn't really get into it. Is that subject to change? Of course. And that's not saying that either of those two are bad games. It just didn't pique my interest, or more specifically relating to Dead Island. It just did not pique my interest like Left 4 Dead did or Dead Rising 3 did. Because I believe Dead Rising 3 and Dying Light were announced at about the same time. Dead Rising 3 came out earlier. I could be wrong. I just was more focused on Dead Rising 3, and lo and behold, oh, hey, look, Dying Light. But I know that Dying Light was announced, I want to say, when the PS4 and Xbox One were getting their big pushes out into release. Now he did mention that the tutorial was convoluted, kind of dumb. It's like you're doing one thing, you're doing exactly what it says, and it's saying no, you need to do it differently. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree that the tutorial was annoying and it was lackluster, but for the most part, it did do its job at the end. I will say that. But he does raise a valid point that the tutorial was flawed and it didn't exactly explain what it was trying to get you to do as good as it should have. And the whole jumping scheme was flawed. It didn't work 100% of the time. It has more to do with luck than it has any business being. However, once you do figure it out, once you kind of understand how to do it, it all comes to you as you play. And that's more the approach that I have with games is that I don't really give a shit about a tutorial. I think a tutorial should be optional, not part of the story. However, if it can be organic, like it was here, it was organic here, despite its flaws. But generally, I prefer the tutorial be optional, and I just learn as I play. Um, what else did he go on about? Oh, the weapons breaking easily. Here's the thing about that. Each corpse is lootable, which sometimes contains metal parts which you use to repair weapons. So, um, for me, the combat works. It does its job. Plus, survival horror. It's meant to be a last type of resort. It's meant to be if you're cornered, then you fight. Generally, you need to flee more than you need to fight because you can run around, you can loot like boxes and crates and barrels and stuff for items and other materials you use to craft stuff. And I felt fine with it. I really did. And he said that the weapons breakthroughs like a lead pipe or a metal pipe or a steel pipe, just pipe, a lot of pipes. Um, just things that generally, when you think about it, should not break as easily as they should have, as opposed to like, a chainsaw fucking cutting through people with, little to no effort. However, he's inserting real life logic with game balance, which generally is always ignored when it comes to making a game. Yes, in real life things would be different. However, this is a game. It needs balance. It needs to work. It needs to function. It needs to give the player a challenge while at the same time giving them a fun experience. For me, it gave me a fun experience. I've enjoyed it so far. And you're also saying that basic weapons should do more than they do. When you do get better weapons down the line, you do. You get legitimately better weapons down the line. And at the same time, though, fighting the zombies is meant to be a last resort. Now, when you're in the middle of the night and zombies are fucking chasing after you, what are you doing? You're running your ass as far as you fucking can away from these motherfuckers to the safest fucking location you can find. Backing? fact, Eminem. You can fucking find. However, I do agree with him on the initial missions when it comes to the story. It is lackluster and uninviting to excitement. It's, hey, you, go do this, go set up these traps, go bust this down, go find this guy, blah blah blah. So my view with the story, or excuse me, so my view is that he feels that the story and combat are lackluster, which on the story, I agree. I totally agree. It's been there, done that story. The characters are characters are eh. I didn't care for too fucking many of them. I don't care for most, except for maybe two plus the main guy. The main guy is definitely somebody I give a shit about, and there's one chick I care about plus one dude who's like this teenager that acts more badass than he has any right to act. But at the same time, I eventually he grew on me, and I started to like, you know what, you're all right by me. But if you want good gameplay and a survival horror with zombies, this is a fucking phenomenal game. It really is. It's not going to redefine the genre, but it's still a great game. It still stands out on its own. It's definitely better than Dead Island from what I've been told. At least my perception of this game is that it is what Dead Island should have been in the first place. Based on the gameplay videos, based on the reviews, based on what people have told me, etc., etc., all the perspectives I've been given, that this is better than Dead Island in many fucking ways. And even if you did like Dead Island, this game should fucking transcend how you felt about Dead Island. This game should be better than it. That being said, Review Tech USA is still a good and reliable source for gaming stuffs, but this is simply a time and place that I just don't agree with him. So let me know what you guys thought about Dying Light. I did a couple of videos of well, I did an impressions video set. However, that video set ended up being longer than I wanted to, and I was like, oh, hey, I guess this is my legitimate let's play of it. And then I saw there was gonna be some DLC, and I was like, all right, oh, I'm just gonna wait for the DLC. Wait, shit, I just started the LP, and that's also my impressions video, so I'm gonna need to redo that. So my impressions video is going to be delayed until further notice because right now I'm working on. Well, I just got done with Tenchu 2, and I'm working on Tenchu Wrath of Heaven, which I'm almost done with. I'm about almost 2/3 of the way done with that. I just completed Ricky Maru's story. I'm about to do. Well, I'm in the middle. No, actually, I'm at the end of Ayami's story, and then I have a third story to do with a character whose name is Teshu. And then once I get those two knocked out, well, it's from there. It's like, all right, well, what am I in the mood for now? Um, I plan on doing Dragon Age Inquisition relatively soon, and once the DLCs come out, I'm just gonna kind of plant them. I'm gonna save like sections of Dragon Age Inquisition, and then insert them into spots of or insert the DLCs into spots. However, I also acknowledge that that comes with hey, the DLC comes with gear and stuff you can use later on down the line. So it's like, all right, so do I gotta wait for all the DLC to come out, or should I do it now, or what should I do? You know. But with that being said, folks, it's all about the experience, really, more so than the gameplay. In fact, with the gameplay of Dragon Age Inquisition, I could actually do it from start to finish without worrying about, oh, hey, I didn't get to use that, whatever. But with that being said, I'm going to wait for more patches to come out, more stuff to come out with it, and then I'll actually get my Let's Play going. However, that being said, stay tuned for more Let's Plays, or more Let's Play videos of Resident Evil 4 and Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. Have a good night, folks. Have a safe week. Have a safe week. I almost said weekend, but it's Wednesday. It's yeah. Actually, is it Wednesday? Yep, it's Wednesday. Hump day. Woohoo! But that being said, folks, have a safe week, and I'll see you all soon for the next video I upload.